I remember us sitting down a couple of years ago, having a little get together at our house talking about, okay, are we going to do this again? And people getting on board with that, and the other people that Jesse and Dave got to know that I've gotten to know through this process that I didn't know from the first one. There's Colin and Eric and Lance and a number of people that I just got to know this time, and to see them play these roles and to see how they grew as performers throughout this has been really neat to see. The first movie I was just in a couple scenes. I was in a scene with the kids at the end where the Padawans, where I'm training them. So that was just a quiet, gentle scene where I'm talking to one other character. And now this time I'm, definitely in more scenes. There's a lot more dialogue to learn.
This endless devastation on Rusan is what is wasteful. Tell me, when did you lose your objectivity? When did you finally commit so many forces in the sector that you forgot what it was like to think of other options?
You're going to see in that final scene that there's a moment that we have where there are no lines. It's all going to be about the emotion of what's going on. There's going to be such sadness, but also anger, and to kind of portray those two to each other without words is going to be different for us, because again we kind of had this more in the first movie of he's gonna do what I ask, where this time things go differently and they end quite badly. So there's that balance of I still believe in you, but there's the sadness of what happens, but then there's also such anger, and we're gonna have to work on conveying that, because like you said, in the end it changes everything. Dave and I have a lot of fun together. We also both goof a little bit and definitely have our lines screw up or stand in the wrong spot. So we laughed a lot when we did the first one, so I have a feeling we'll do that again. We'll have a couple drinks and hang out, and I like working with him. He's been a friend of my husband's for a long time, and obviously he's become a friend of mine, and so I like working with him a lot. It's definitely been a bigger role, but I kind of asked for it, I guess. I did. Once I saw the first movie, I was like, that fighting was so cool. You need to write me a fight scene. I want my purple lightsaber to be in action instead of just teaching them the gentle movements. I wanted to fight. It was just a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. It's just a really fun group of people to be around. Working with Eric and Colin on the fight scenes, that obviously was something I'd never done before. And we would go to Eric's gym and go into these racquetball courts and just start fighting, and it was cool because people could kind of see us in there, and some people were watching what we were doing, and I was super nervous when I started that, because I was coming from no background of this whatsoever. So Eric and Colin were fantastic about really working with me, and they had such a fluidity to what they did. I hope I have even like a smidge of what they had, because I got to play a Sith, so I had to again, nobody will know who I am except me. I get killed in one of those scenes. I get to pretend like I'm falling, and I'm anxious to see what that looked like, because it was like falling in the grass on my face over and over and over. First of all, to be in this field approach with a porta potty, and we're all putting on these costumes and makeup and all these things, and then walking down the highway and seeing all these cars and trucks drive by us, looking at us walking with our sticks, our lightsabers, down the highway that weekend was hilarious. And I ended up running into a friend of mine about 6 months later who talked about that, and he was going fishing and he saw all of us on the side of the road and he was going, I was wondering what the hell was going on down there. When I saw the movie, the finished product, the first time, I literally sat in my seat going, I cannot believe he knows how to do this. So I'm really excited to see this story and see how it changes and grows from the other story. I've traveled for my job and talked to people about it, and there's definitely a lot of guys that I know that love Star Wars. So I'm like, oh, you gotta check out the site. My husband did this movie. I have a little part in it, but now we're filming a sequel, and so I think that's been really cool too. I'm just incredibly proud and I guess honored to be part of this, and